Hey everyone, welcome back to Make It Work podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tam. And to the side this time, not on the top or the bottom, we have our other host, the illustrious, the talented, always incredible skin, Christian Garza.
Hello.
This week we're going to talk about September issue in like fashion movies. So the first one we're going to talk about is the September issue. Then we're going to do Devil Wears Prada, and then we're going to talk about House of Gucci to introduce you guys into like the fashion film archive, I guess we can call it.
Yes, and this is kind of like an intro to like this whole month because we're getting ready for all the fashion weeks and we're going to have a ton of content. So be sure to follow us on all of our socials at Make It Work Pod.
And send us an email at makeitworkpod@gmail.com if you have any fashion related questions, concerns, thoughts.
Okay, are you ready for the first movie?
Let's do this. So, the September issue. I remember watching this at Film when we worked in the library. It's been a super long time since I saw it, so I like refreshed and I watched it again this week. What are your thoughts on your refresh watch?
I loved it. Also, it aged. It was so weird because like I was Googling like all these names that I hadn't heard in forever. And I think the first one was like Takun. And it turns out he's still around producing like items. I don't know if Grace Coddington didn't she step back from her like duties? Right. And then it was cool because like, a lot of people probably didn't know or didn't see that Edward Enninful, he got his start as an editorial assistant. So it was cool to see him in there. And obviously like he's now at British Vogue and he's doing a great job and actually I think has superseded American Vogue.
Definitely, as far
Mhm.
as creativity,
Yes.
inventiveness, just keeping it fresh. It was interesting to see him in that role and to see how stressed out he was and like in a state of uncertainty even about his place there. So it's very cool to see like the evolution of his career and him being in charge at British Vogue, which I guess is okay because it seemed odd when I was watching it too. Like, dang, Anna Wintour is not even American, and she's like the it girl of America because she's in
Yeah,
charge of
dictating
American
like
Vogue.
the trends.
That
Huh.
was interesting for me too. I didn't really remember how much like her job, because even growing up I would think like, oh, this lady's in charge of all the fashion, like look at how she dresses. But it's more so about her like logistical
Oh yeah.
abilities with everything. Like, oh, this collection, this won't sell. This you don't have enough, this you don't have enough that. I'm having lunch with like the retail store owners, Neiman Marcus here, there, and I'm talking to them about their issues and what they want to see. And then at the magazine, I'm lining it up with what's going to be in the store when and what we're going to show and how we're going to show it. It's like she is the mega
Yes.
mind
Yeah.
of all of it, and the style and all that is secondary.
Well, it is business.
Yeah, and like she seems like the person, and that's why it makes sense that people make it seem like she's such a big bitch, because she's the person in charge of all the yeses
Yeah.
and the nos on everything. I would be horrified seeing her walk down the hallway at my job. Like, that's no. And I didn't remember how much of a tumultuous relationship her and Grace had, like creative
Yes.
wise.
Oh my gosh. But they like grew up, not grew up, but they started at Vogue together. And like, I feel like, you could see that they both respected each other, but there was still like that, not tumult. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was tumultuous, but
Okay,
mm,
you're a creative person as far as photography and things like that. So I guess I didn't really understand Grace's point of view in her attachment to the work. Like, oh, I did all this stuff and it's all being killed. Like, duh, this is a big old magazine. Like, I thought this would be run of the mill for you. But it seemed like it was more so she's attached like the designers are attached. Like, this is my baby. This was my project. I really championed this thing. I think the photos are beautiful. And like, why don't you
yes.
like it? So do you feel that same kind of sort of connection to your look?
Yes. I mean, she's creating these images and then she's working with all these creatives, the photographers, the style, she's the stylist, but she's working on this story, like she's creating a story in these photos. And so maybe it's because she sees the entire project as one cohesive story. And then if you're editing like these photos away, it's not going to make, it's taking a piece of this like puzzle away.
That's true because on the one, like the 20s shoot, it was very much like it was cute. All of it was on point with ideas that they had all discussed previously in the other scenes, but you had 22 shots. Like there would be no way we could keep all of them.
Yeah, that's way too many photos.
And sure, all of them are,
Yes.
yeah, like that's the best of the crop. Maybe you took 1,000 and you love all 22 of these. Sure, fantastic. We can't keep all of them, Grace,
Yes.
girl.
But they were beautiful photos.
Beautiful, all of them. The other thing that that made me kind of sad was seeing Andre Leon Talley, may
Oh
his
yeah.
soul rest in peace, like in prominence and in his role, because I feel like a lot of people don't really know what he did and his influence
Yes.
on Vogue. They just kind of seen him out wearing capes.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they like touched on that a little
And it's
bit.
funny, like that one part where he's like, Anna Wintour introduced me into the world of health and like wellness, and he's like leisurely like hitting a tennis racket about this court haphazardly with his Louis Vuitton, trunk, and what was it, Piaget
Yes,
tennis
watch,
watch? Oh
and
my gosh, yes.
he had all of this like Louis Vuitton equipment out there, the tennis racket bag. Like this was a photo shoot for him. It was not about exercise.
Which is so odd because so like I guess it was filmed like 2007, I believe, and then
Mm-hmm.
fast forward, to what was it, last year? I think he passed away, but didn't
Yeah.
didn't he was like broke, right?
Well, then that's what kind of made me sad too,
Yeah.
watching this back and looking at, I guess, everybody outside of Anna and then Grace because she had a modeling career before, but even Grace a little bit like, dang, these people aren't really getting
Mm.
paid to even participate in the lifestyle that they're selling to us.
And that's the fashion industry.
Wild. Wow. And everybody's kind of surviving off gifts and like favoritism and like just handshake type of, oh, that's my friend this week sort of deals.
Yes. And like a lot of the fashion shows, especially if like, the brand hasn't reached a certain like profitability, they will like gift the models, clothes instead of like being able to pay them.
Because they want them to wear it out and maybe, and this time probably post it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
That was interesting to see like them talk about and how it was like a little teeny hint of disdain in their voices about, oh, when we switched over to celebrities,
Oh yes.
now we got the celebrities everywhere. Like, how much different really is it? A random girl that, y'all just have at the casting agency, or a person that's actually going to sell the magazine? Why is it so? What is the contention there?
I mean, that's fashion. Like you just have to go with what is, I guess, trending.
Yeah, I guess.
So like the new, supermodel, not even, obviously they can't stand next to, but like it would be like the influencer and also like celebrities. And so that's why like, a couple of years ago they got invited finally to the Met because, they have that like
Hmm.
cultural like cachet with people. And so like, of course they want that.
And even in the last couple of years, I'd say in the last 5 to 10 years, the whole influencer model, same thing that's going on. Like, how can you differentiate? Even the lines are getting blurred between who's a celebrity and who's this and who's that. Because, like, for example, no shade to Kendall Jenner, you're a reality TV show kid. You grew up on reality TV. That's why all of us know who you are. And then you decided as a career you want to be a model,
Mm-hmm.
but you are still hand over fist getting more money and commanding more everything than the average model
Yep.
that maybe has even worked longer than you because of, like you said, your cultural cachet.
Yep. All shade intended. She is, yeah, a reality star.
Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid, like their mom, she was a supermodel. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, we only know y'all because you were on her housewife show.
Yep.
So you're getting, I remember when they first hit the scene, it was like they were on the cover of every single magazine. They were doing sister photo shoots, they were getting brand collaborations, all this stuff, just because of like nepotism. And yeah, you were on the TV show. Everybody knows who you are. And then I had to see Chanel Iman on the wall get cut. Poor Chanel
Oh
Iman.
yes. And that probably, I'm sure, like, not only just this was captured in for the show that,
Mm-hmm.
she was cut for a particular reason. Um, but I'm sure she had to deal with the cuts and everything. And I remember somewhere hearing that she wasn't runway enough. She was more print, or was it the opposite?
I
Yeah,
think
she was more
yeah,
print.
she was more print because she kind of has like a softer features, more girl next door sort of thing. And I did see her randomly. All I can remember is like she was super super hot, like white hot. She was dating Kanye West. She was
Yes.
everywhere. And then boom, it was
Beyonce
like a
video.
it was like a little decline
Yes.
into, and not decline, but a little switch over into her just being in print. And I didn't see her at shows anymore at all.
Yeah.
And then now that she has a
Well, and then
family, it's almost exclusively print and like brand partnerships and
now she's an influencer.
yeah, she is. Like she's a Revolve girl.
Oh, poor thing. But also, don't you think, because she got face work, like, didn't she change her nose or something for features?
I believe she did change her nose. And if she didn't change her nose, she's putting a whole crazy amount of makeup on it because it don't look the same at all. She had a black girl nose before, and then now she
Yeah.
has a more racially ambiguous nose.
That's so sad.
Times is hard out here. Halle Berry had to
Yeah.
change her black girl nose too. It'd be tough.
Did she? I didn't
Yeah,
realize. I don't guess I don't remember.
we can cross something in where she admitted it because
We'll
I didn't
find
know either.
pictures.
There you go.
Yes.
The last thing I want to say about the September issue is the quote that she started off the movie with, and I thought it was like the perfect summation of my experience with fashion, going to fashion school, the ideas, the whole thing. Is people are frightened of fashion because it scares them or it makes them feel insecure, so they put it down.
What?
You people aren't cool enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not hip enough. And that's why you think fashion is
Yes.
frivolous and that it's dumb or that, it's not to be taken serious. You wear clothes every day, take it serious.
I don't know. It's just giving it way too much importance. I think it's a great, reflection of how you can portray yourself or your personality to the outside world. But of course, she's going to say this and make it seem, self-important because she's trying to sell these magazines. She's trying to sell this documentary.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
how did you feel? I guess last thing. How did you feel about her daughter's like whole reaction to the whole thing and just her like to the
I think she has a firm foot in reality. Yes.
I wasn't mad at her takes at all. I'm like, yeah, I get it. As a person that tried this and didn't get the results I set out for, I get it.
Yes.
Next up, probably the most well-known fashion movie for like non-fashion people
Hmm.
in the history of the whole thing, the genre, is Devil Wears Prada, starring Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep. What year did this movie come out?
What was it, 2009?
Yeah. Oh, 2006.
Whoa. Wow.
That's a long time ago. It doesn't seem like that long. Oh, we're getting old.
No.
Okay.
I heard they were doing a sequel to
I
it.
did. And like, what happened? It like fell flat or nothing came of it?
I don't know, just like random talks of it being made. That would be exciting, but also I wonder how they would tell that.
Yeah, what would be the story? Like, would there be a
And I
new
wonder if it would
assistant?
cheapen it. Yeah.
I feel like it would because now you're just trying to drag
Yes.
it. But, anyways, in this movie, well, this kind of was what I saw before September issue and all of that and had the idea. So it was very funny for me watching the September issue when she had called. She was like, Sophie, and she just yelled out a thing and she hung up. I was like, oh, yeah, the movie was real.
Oh, and some background story for the Del Wears Prada movie. It was a book first, and um, I think they took some like liberties, like with even Andy's character.
Well, the movie starts off with Emily being
Mhm.
Anna's assistant.
Yeah,
And oh, they don't call her Anna, she's Miranda Priestley. So Miranda Priestley, this big old magazine company, Emily is her assistant. She's stressed out, she's frazzled, she's still trying to be fashionable because it's a fashionable place. She is doing the best she can. Andrea, aka Andy, comes in. She's from
Mhm.
more of a serious journalism background, like New York Times, bust the story wide
Vanity
open type of thing.
Fair.
Yeah, so
Yes.
she thinks that all these fashion people are frivolous and without merit for anything really. And she's quickly whipped into shape by our man Nigel, who comes with the outfits, with the hairstyles, everything. And she becomes a better version of herself. Miranda Priestley, though, based on Anna Wintour, right? Was this book written by her real assistant?
Yes.
Mm,
So all it takes for a makeover is a nice pair of Chanel boots.
amazing. And the
Yes.
sales in that movie, I hope Anna was proud of that because I, as a teen girl, was like immediately, oh, I have to get some Chanel boots and I want that tweed jacket. I want that little hat. I need some Chanel pins. Like, this is the way to go. Prior to that, I was a Gucci boot girl. I thought when I got grown, I would just save my little pennies and I would get some Gucci boots. No, not good enough. Got to be Chanel.
No.
Chanel, I'm just going to keep on wearing
I,
combat boots.
I feel like Gucci is for the peons, especially now. Everybody has Gucci, and it's obscene.
It's the more affordable luxury brand, right? You said it's
It's for
obscene.
people who it's obscene. Just it's for people who want to, blast out there that they overspent on something that's garish, and probably won't go with 90% of the rest of their wardrobe. Oh,
That's a
and they love
burn.
logos everywhere.
Yes, that's a burn, but that's a factual burn. Because what can you really do with Gucci accessories? And that's largely what people wear, like the accessories and the leisure wear stuff. What else can you pair that with without looking like a clown?
Right.
Nothing really.
Right now, I just like I see a person. Well, my whenever you said that, I said I had like this image of this man white shirt, denim, Gucci belt, the double G's, and like some kind of red shoe. Can you see that man?
I can see that man. I have seen that man countless times.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If we want to take it to black culture, I see a man. He maybe has dreads. He maybe has a fade. Uh, he has on a different brand shirt. It could be a Miri. It could be Montclair. It don't matter. He's wearing his logos
It's
today.
probably Zara.
Zara. Some men do dabble in the Zara, and he's got the Gucci belt on, shirt tucked into the front so you can see the double G. The tightest skinny pants that he could find, also designer, and some big old cartoon tennis shoes on.
Yes.
That's how
But are
I
the
see
skinny
it.
pants like you could still see their boxers, right?
Yes, because they have them out because they're
Yes.
too tight.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
boxers are not Gucci.
No. Haynes,
They'll,
his way.
it's horrible. You don't deserve those clothes. You need carbs. Also, I think what is interesting about this movie and it like coming out, it made everybody or the wider public more aware or probably gave them insight that they didn't have before. How like cutthroat the
Mm-hmm.
fashion industry is, how it is all made to be seen like as pleasant and
Glamorous.
aspiration, yes, and glamorous, aspirational yet attainable. When the people are like, no, you can't come back here. No, you can't talk to us. No, 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 no. It's the least friendly industry out. I know people say the music industry, but that's because they haven't worked in fashion.
I totally agree. And then, of course, because, everybody just assumes that everybody's banking once you're working in the fashion industry. But no, there's all these like lower level jobs, and, it's so hard to get the dream like fashion designer or editor or whatever. And once you get there, of course, you're going to make a decent amount of money. But before that, you have to like suffer, get into credit card debt just to like portray this image that you're like living this lavish lifestyle.
I remember graduating from FITM or even still being in FITM and just going through in my mind the fact that, okay, I'm probably not going to be successful at this because I can't afford to work for free. Like the fashion
Yeah.
industry is built on free labor and being an intern, a grown ass intern, not even a teenager. Like these girls be in their early, mid, late 20s still working for free in the hopes to like prove their worth somewhere to get a job.
Yeah. I remember one of my internships, I was interning with somebody else, and she, got along really well with the designer. But of course, he would because she came from a family that was super affluent. And at the time she was going to USC, she really didn't need I think she was doing it for the like internship for the connections rather than like to get experience. And I'm sure like she was there for a while and then she moved on to something great, I'm sure, because of her money.
That was such a hard punch in the chest for me to accept, like that this fashion industry stuff is either slave based, like serve your time, put your time in prison style, and we'll maybe pick you, or it's family and nepotism. Because I was talking to this career advisor, whatever we
Mm.
had, okay, maybe you can work in a museum, you could be a curator, this or that. So I and FITM does a really good job of like connecting you with the people you need to ask the questions. So I go out, I talk to this girl. It's like a fashion museum somewhere. I think at the time they're having a product exhibit. I'm asking her, well, how did you get the job of, doing this? Oh, my stepmom's best friend, she used to be the curator here and she was gonna retire, and they all knew that I was going to FITM, so they asked me if I wanted to do it. And I was like, shoot me in the head right now. My dad is on like stepmom 31. None of these hoes got connections.
The wrong kind of connections. Whenever you said the career coach or career counselors, I just recalled at one point one of the career counselors that I went to go see at FITM, she was probably an aspiring model or something. But, in the meantime, she had to have a practical job. And so she was working as a counselor.
We had a lot of that. Like my tour guide was like a designer or something, but she couldn't find a job, so she came back to FITM. She was working there. I guess we're doing what we can, all of us. But the whole idea of like grunt work and really like making your bones like the mafia and just taking a bunch of abuse until you can get to a certain status is like the thing in fashion. And I think that's also why the people in position are so hardened and so
Yes.
cold, is because they got treated that way too.
I remember one of my pattern teachers. He was so great. I loved like learning from him. He was intelligent and he just had a way. Like he knew what he was doing. He came from New York. He had about this like gruff like demeanor about him. And at one point, I remember he said he was working at De La Renta, and then there was like this one. His like claim to fame was that there was like this one cardigan that was worn by some celebrity at some runway or something. But maybe I was just like hoping for this like softer side. But yeah, he had the most like angry like man. Like he was depressed and he definitely probably needed to be on uppers, and he was just smoking all the time. I'm sure he was definitely missing teeth. He'd seen better days, and they were a long time ago.
Whoa. It makes me sad to have to say this because hopefully she's, alive and thriving somewhere out in the world. But do you remember that lady at FITM?
Mhm.
I know that you know her because of your major.
Oh,
She was
she
so skinny,
she
like the
passed
skinniest
away
person alive.
like I
She looked
think
like
a
Rick
year
Owens'
ago.
wife.
Miss Riegelman.
Oh, may her soul,
Yes.
Miss Riegelman, may her stylish,
Yes.
chic soul rest in peace. But she
So
looked
talented.
terrifying when I used to see her in the hallway. I remember countless times, like coming to and from the library for work, and she would be like, on her hustle walking. I would just stand
I
against the
was
wall, like, oh
she
shit,
was yes, she was always so chic in the like because she was very tiny, but she had like the smallest dresses with the tiniest slit so that her little legs could like prance around the campus in her high heels. And she was probably like at least 60 ish, right? At the time. But she was super chic, but I loved it, that she was so chic, but she had this like softness about her demeanor, like in class, but she also had the talent to like back it up. And I love that.
wow, Mrs. Riegelman. I'm sorry I was afraid of you because you
Also,
were so well dressed.
oh my gosh. Actually, she also played favorites. I remember someone at the time I was friends with, we had like a final that was due, and she was like running behind on her work, and she couldn't get the exact product done. And I had already had her class earlier in that week, so I had finished mine. I got a really good grade. And she said, she didn't like her. So the friend said that Miss Riegelman didn't care for her, and she, had her favorites and whatever. And I was like, no, it's not so. Maybe, there's something you're missing or something. Anyway, long story short, I ended up doing her final because, it was take home, it was sketching. And so I like sketch out her final, and then she goes to present them. And, same artist, different deliverer. And she gets a lower grade than what I had gotten. Whoops. I guess she did play favorites. But luckily, I was the favorite. Yes.
Everybody can't be the one.
I'm the chosen one.
Good times. Excellent times. What was didn't she wasn't she famous for like a book that she wrote? Nine
She
Heads?
wrote all of like major like illustration books, yes. But besides that, she also did like fine art.
Oh, I need to Google her or something.
Very talented. Oh, follow us on social media. I'm gonna show you some books. I'm gonna post on like TikTok or Instagram, and I'm gonna show you some of the books that I had for whenever I was studying fashion design.
Please do share with us. It'll be very fun.
Yes.
And those books are expensive, so I feel like they should be seen.
Yes. Oh my gosh, they're just sitting there.
Any other fun tidbits about Devil Wears Prada?
It's a fantastic movie. Every time I watch it, even last night, well, when I was rewatching it, you're like losing hope. She's like, oh my gosh, she has to find this Harry Potter book, which is funny because now Harry Potter is so old. But at the time, she's like, oh, find me that, manuscript. And, she pulls through, she delivers the book. She has it. The kids have got it on the train to grandma's. And that's whenever she trusts her. She's like, okay, game recognizes game.
Yes, I loved that part. I loved all the hustle and bustle she did to get it to
Yes.
them and how she just gave her the project intentionally with like the hope that she would fail or with the idea that she would fail.
Yes. She pulled
And
through.
that's why she had to give her props after. Excellent
Yes.
job. And Hathaway, still your best work outside of Princess Diaries, in my opinion.
Definitely. I love the fashion montages whenever she's, coming into her fashion discovery. Love the soundtrack. So many great songs. And it's a really, I don't know, it gives the feel of a rom com. In the end, everything's settled. There's a happy, like, closure. But it's great because, like, the love story really isn't the focus. It's really, like, this woman coming into her own.
I think that's what I liked about it too. Even being a younger girl, it's like her love story was on the side, like
Yes.
because I can really relate to that. My relationship is a side character in my life. I am the main character. This life is about me. He can't get in the casket with me.
Mine too. And my non-existent boyfriend.
I sent you a very hilarious TikTok. You should watch it. And it's saying, Mija, what did I tell you? You got to have 3 or 4 boyfriends. I told you, like, stop acting like a pendeja with one boyfriend.
Yes.
Oh, and I didn't even know about the soundtrack, but yes, it definitely has a lot of good songs. So go listen to the Devil Wears Prada soundtrack and get into the fashion
Yes. There
mood.
was like what? Of course, it's Vogue by Madonna. This what was it?
Hmm.
Jump by Madonna, which is like that was whenever she was doing the montage, and it's just like, oh, this makes me want to go get dressed. There was the
Yes.
Alanis Morissette cover, Seal's cover or Seal song, amazing. No, crazy. And then of
Hmm.
course, Suddenly I See by Katie Tunstall.
Excellent song, Suddenly I See. That
Yes,
makes me feel like a white girl in a movie anytime I hear it. I could be walking down
yes,
the dirtiest street.
yes.
Suddenly I See, brighten me right up like pocket full of sunshine. Now, on to our last movie
Mm-hmm.
for this week. It is House of Gucci,
Mm-hmm.
starring Adam Driver, Lady Gaga. Wait. There was a lot of good people in this. I don't want to miss
Jared
people. Who else is
Leto,
in it?
Al Pacino.
I love the guy that plays the dad. What is his name?
Oh, I don't know his name.
Oh, Jeremy Irons.
Oh, I'm not familiar with him.
Anything with Jeremy Irons in it, I am watching it. I loved him as this Gucci Saeed man. It gave me the same vibes he did when he played the Pope in The Borgia.
Across the board, I did not care for any of the like what is it, the accent? The Italian speaking American or like English. Oh, it was awful. I thought the movie, I think it was cinematic. Like it was pretty. It told the story. I think it could have been there were lulls. I don't know. Well, obviously, like it was a different each one. So like this one was a dramatization of real life. September issue was documentary, and then Devil Wears Prada was fantastic piece of pop culture. But this one, I felt like it took me like 3 days to watch it, like to get through it all. It took too long. The comic relief, I feel like a lot of people liked it because Jared Leto's character was so bombastic. I thought it was annoying and like, was it a satire? Did this person really act like this? It was so out of touch, so diluted. And then like I feel like who wrote this script for him? Be sure to follow us on all of our socials. Just even like making this episode, I like have so much content idea of like things like fashion related that I want to share with everybody. So it'll be great.
The question for September issue is: would you be able to work for Anna Wintour in any capacity after seeing what you've seen?
Would you have that last day while you're at Paris Fashion Week? Would you have thrown your phone into the fountain, gone back to America, and quit your job as her assistant, or would you have sucked it up, continued to work for her for that 1 year, and then have gotten a job anywhere you wanted to go?
That's an excellent question for Devil Wears Prada. Make sure you answer that. And then my question for House of Gucci is: if you were Patrizia, would you have done what she did, unalived this man? Would you have just taken him through a nasty divorce battle in court and told all their family business and went to the stores and tried to steal a bunch of stuff? Or 3, be like the estranged wife and just capitalize off that fame and try to make some other brand like all the other Gucci people did? Let us know your opinion or your answers to one of those 3 questions or all 3 if you've got time in the comments. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and email us if you have any questions at makeitworkpod@gmail.com. And you're going to follow us at makeitworkpod.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.